Hello and welcome back to Open Studio. I'm your host, Martina Flor, and today we are diving again into the world of lettering. We are diving into the secrets of lettering, and we will be doing this throughout the next episodes. And today we are addressing a big question that I know a lot of you have been wondering about, which is, does it make sense to get into the lettering industry? Is the market too oversaturated with lettering artists? And if you have ever scrolled through Instagram and thought, hey, everyone is doing lettering, how will I be able to stand out? How is anybody gonna notice me because I'm starting anew? Is there even space for me in the industry? There's so many lettering artists out there that I bet they are getting all the jobs and they're covering all the jobs for lettering. If you're wondering that and you have that mind radio going on inside your head, then this episode is for you. I'm here to tell you that yes, there's room for you, and yes, you can make a living doing what you love. And I get it. Perhaps there's people out there that want to make you believe that there's no room for you because they're perhaps afraid of having you coming into the industry and they see you as a competition. But I do believe that every new artist and lettering designer that comes into the industry can create their own market, their own niche. And this is essential to succeed with your skills. Creating your own market is essential to succeed in what you do. And in this episode and throughout the next episodes, you're going to understand what is it that is going to make you stand out as a lettering artist. And it's not necessarily what you think. So you may think right now, oh, I need to have a style that is really new or is trendy, or I need to have a lot of followers on social media. And these are not things that you necessarily need to succeed with your skills. Welcome to Open Studio Podcast, space for lettering artists, illustrators, and creatives who are determined to thrive in their passion. I'm Martina Flor, and I've been through the ups and downs of building a successful creative business. From struggling to make ends meet to achieving my dream of becoming an award-winning lettering designer, I've learned valuable lessons along the way. Now, I'm here to share those lessons, strategies, and tips so that your journey can be smoother. Whether you're looking to turn your passion into a career or want insights to boost your creative business, this podcast is your guide. Join me on the Open Studio Podcast and let's make your creative dreams a reality. But before we dive into all of this, I want to let you know that I have put together for you a free guide. And if you're serious about building a career in lettering, or if you want to, get a sense of how it is or how it looks like to build a career in lettering design, I put together a free guide that is called Lettering Success Secrets. It's completely for free. And in this guide, I share practical strategies to get you started. And you can download it now at martinaflor.com/guide. I'm going to add the link to the show notes, but you can go ahead to my website, martinaflor.com/guide, and download it right now. This guide touches on some of the things that we will be touching on and speaking about on this episode and upcoming episodes, but also more. It gives you more information. It provides you with anecdotes, stories of my own journey, stories of students and lettering artists that I have worked with. So it's super inspiring and also super insightful. And it's a 20-minute read. It's really bite-sized and it's really compact. So you will get a lot of value by just investing 20 minutes into reading this guide. So remember, go to martinaflor.com/guide and download it. So let's dive into today's big question, which is the market too crowded? Is the market for lettering artists too crowded? So let's be real. If you're feeling like there are too many lettering artists out there, it's probably because you have created a bubble for yourself. Let me explain. First, you follow tons of lettering artists on social media. Is that right? I know that happens with me. I follow a lot of people who does the same thing that I do. And therefore, I feel like everybody is doing lettering. Number two, you read books and consume tutorials or YouTube videos about lettering every day. So you get more of the feeling of like, oh my God, lettering is the big thing. Everybody's doing lettering. And number three, your brain is hyper focused on lettering. And as I said before, this creates a virtual bubble where it feels like everybody is doing lettering, but in reality, they are not. The world outside this bubble is huge, and businesses, brands, and publishers are constantly looking for unique artists to work with. They are constantly looking for unique voices to illustrate covers, to create a logotype, to create artwork for a campaign. And we are now in the midst of what I call the lettering revolution. When I started, lettering was, people would ask me, well, what is it that you do? And I would say like, well, I'm a lettering artist. And they had no idea what this was about. I had to explain my clients, my community, what is it that I was doing? What was my work about? So lettering is no longer just that. Everybody knows what lettering is in the design world. Everybody knows what lettering is. Everybody knows that this is an expertise, that you need to know exactly what you're doing, that you need to have an understanding of letter forms to be able to create lettering. And it's a powerful tool that is used everywhere. It's used on packaging, is used on branding. And I'm looking around right now in my own studio and I see so much lettering. And not only because I created some of the images that you see around me, but also because I have a box over there, it has a lettering on it. I have a cup over there, it has a lettering on it. So lettering is used in branding, on murals and storefronts, is used in movies and motion graphic. You go to the movies and you see the titles of the movie in a certain lettering styles. So companies need lettering to stand out, to connect with their audiences, and to also drive sales. Going back to some of the concepts that I spoke about in the previous episodes, lettering is essentially the visual form of language. And language is something that we have used, continue to use, and will continue to use for the years to come. Lettering and language are essentially the tools that we use to communicate with one another, to put messages across. And companies and brands, they know this. And this is why they are actively searching for talented artists to help them do that, to help them drive sales, to help them connect with their audiences. So let's break this down into 3 key points that will help you see why there is still room for you in this market. Number 1, your unique style and story will set you apart. So one of the biggest mindset shifts that you need to make is understanding that your unique style and story make you different. So something I love about lettering, and this is why I got into lettering as a graphic designer. I am originally studied graphic design. I have a degree in graphic design. And at some point I fell out of love of graphic design. I felt that the work that I was doing was too generic, was uninteresting, was not creative enough. And I dive into lettering because I discovered in lettering the perfect combination of 2 things that I really loved. So on one hand, I love that lettering has the structure and the systems of design. So you have to work within a system. It's not like you can do exactly what you want and you can just be creative and create whatever it is that you come up with. You have to work within a system, the system of the alphabet. What you create needs to be readable, so it needs to communicate a message. And then on the other hand, there's the expression. So you can bring your own style, your unique voice to the table. And this is what makes lettering such a unique craft, because it combines a structure and creativity. It combines a structure with expression, with self-expression. And I believe that this makes the perfect match for me, but also probably for you. Now, another layer of this is that you as an artist, you are unique. So there's only one you, and no one has your exact background, your exact experiences, your exact artistic approach. Also, you are creating based on what inspires you. What is it that you have collected in your mind as a library of letter forms, a library of inspiration? So all of this stuff makes you and your approach unique. Furthermore, what you decide to do with your lettering skills is also unique to you. So just look at how different lettering artists have built successful careers in completely unique ways. So you have seen in this podcast, I have interviewed dozens of accomplished lettering artists and illustrators, and they have very different paths. They have built very different careers, and they have built different ways in which they generate income with their skills. And I want to tell you the story of some of the students inside my academy who have also applied their lettering skills to build careers that are unique to them. So for instance, Ana Gomez, she is working mainly for publishers. So she's applying her lettering skills to creating book covers for publishers. There's also Francesca. Francesca, she built an online shop and she sells lettering-based products like pins and patches and prints, and she sells her products online, but also she goes to fairs, and she has created a unique business around her lettering skills by creating just products. There's also Vanessa, for instance. She combines her graphic design and mural skills, and she creates murals for companies and institutions. There's also Rebecca Turner. She came into my program, the Lettering Seminar. She is a packaging designer, and she dived into lettering to acquire a skill that was complementary to her packaging design skills. So she's now working with food brands and creates, a standout packaging because she has also this extra expertise or this extra skill that she can apply to creating artwork and designs for the products and the brands that she works for. Another student of mine, Eva Jerome, she is a designer, a graphic designer, and she uses her lettering skills applied to logotype design. She helps companies and agencies to create branding systems by helping them craft their logotypes and create custom logotypes. There's also David Bauer in our community. David works in motion design and uses lettering for movie titles and animations. So David started as a motion designer and incorporated the skill of lettering to attract more interesting projects in which he was able to be more creative, like things like creating movie titles and animations with typography. So I'm telling you this because I don't want you to think that the only thing you can do as a lettering artist or a lettering designer is to work for the same clients that other people work for. You can create your own niche. You can combine this skill with the market you're already in. You can find a specific application for your skills, like creating a product-based business or a business that sells a certain digital product or a knowledge product. And later on, we will dive into that in one of the episodes. We will dive into what are the income possibilities that you have as a lettering artist. But just for now, I want you to start thinking about, what is the niche you want to create for yourself? What are the people you would like to work for, and what is it that sets you apart right now? There's definitely a space for you. You just need to claim it. So think about this. At the moment of recording this podcast, there are about 8 billion people in the world. 8 billion people. Don't you think that at least a few hundred or even 1,000 will want to work with you? Lettering is really a specialized skill, and most businesses don't know how to do it themselves. So they really need to hire an artist. They really need to hire a lettering designer to do exactly what they need. And of course, they will rely on your expertise to do that. So as a lettering designer, you can be hired to make a brand stand out, or to create a logotype, or to create custom typography for an advertising campaign, to create a lettering piece for a cover, for packaging, for murals, for any other product out there. And we will dive into this later on in one of the episodes. But just for now, I want to tell you that this isn't just theory. I've seen it happen over and over again with my students and with fellow lettering artists that I have interviewed in this podcast, and also in my own career. So I want to invite you to dive into some of the interviews that I've done here in this podcast, because you will start discovering, hey, there's actual people building successful careers, doing something they love, like lettering, for a living. And just remember that the key to standing out is you. If you're worried about competition, remember, no one else has your story, your experiences, and your perspective. And your background, skills, and also your style is what are gonna make your work one of a kind. All of this combined together is gonna attract the right clients to you. So Anna, for instance, she found success in publishing. Francesca built a product-based business. And David took lettering into the world of motion design, which was a world he already knew very well. Think about, what is your path going to be. So remember, the market is not oversaturated. There is demand for unique lettering work, and there's enough people in the world that you can work for. Second, your personal style, skills, and story, your personal path is the thing that sets you apart. Never forget that and never hide it. And number three, you can carve out your own niche and make a living from your lettering. You can create your own market, your own industry, and make a living from your skills. And we're going to dive deeper into how to make a living with your skills in future episodes. But if you cannot wait, if you want to know the answer right now, you can go ahead and download my free guide, Lettering Success Secrets, where I share all of this and more. I share the practical ways in which you can create income, how much you can charge for your work, and how to calculate your fees. I speak about the tools that you need to get started with lettering. I speak about whether you should go the self-taught direction or enroll in a certain academic course. You will find answer to all of these questions. So go ahead and download it now at martinaflor.com/guide, and I will send it to your email. So thanks again for tuning in to Open Studio. If you like this episode, subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when the next episode is coming out. Remember, we will be speaking about all things lettering, how to make a living with lettering, and this is going to be valuable for you, regardless of whether you are a lettering artist or you want to be a lettering artist. It's valuable for you if you're a designer, if you are an illustrator, a graphic artist. And if you found this episode insightful, go ahead and share it with a fellow creative who might also need that extra motivation in their creative journey. So thank you so much for joining this episode, and see you in the next episode of Open Studio. Bye-bye. So this is it. I hope you loved this episode. You can find me, the host of the show, on social networks at Martina Flor on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you have a question or comments, go to martinaflor.com/podcast, where you can see previous episodes, find show notes, and send voice memos with your comments and questions. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube. Just go to martinaflor.com/YouTube to find them. You can, of course, listen to all our episodes on your favorite podcast platform. If you loved this episode, subscribe to this podcast. And if you leave us a review, it will help others find us. Thank you all for listening, and see you in the next episode of Martina Flor's Open Studio. Bye-bye.